Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Korra news update video. Few things to mention here. I'll start off with the stuff that comes from Brian Konietzko's Tumblr blog. First of which is a brand new screenshot. Came out sometime last week. I'm just a bit late getting this out. You can see the image here. Uh, Obviously it's a team avatar. Our first book 3 image of them all together, and it's a very interesting one. I think it's our first book 3 look at Mako as well. Uh, Things of note, obviously, in addition to their crazy expressions, no idea what they're looking at, are the fact that Mako's missing his scarf, which is of note because it's very important to him and no one has any idea where it is. So that could be a plot point at some point in the book. Could be interesting. Um, but yeah, that's a new book 3 image we have. That's always nice to see. Next, pretty much Brian's next post said that he started off by saying, in addition to working on book 3, and then in brackets he said soon, capital letters. So book 3 is coming very soon, it appears, and that makes complete sense given the production updates we've been getting and how far into production it seems things are. So I can't think that that's more than a month, 1, 2, 3, 4 months at the most away. I think we're getting it before September for sure. But again, we'll see what happens with that. The key point of this post was that he said that the crew on Korra had their last animatic meeting for book 4, which in turn means that it was the last animatic meeting for Korra. And animatic is obviously the stage after storyboarding, where they basically animate storyboards. So they have a rough idea about the whole episode, how the movement of each shot is going to look before it's kind of fully animated. So in basic terms, this means that the story of all 4 books of Korra is completely planned out, and generally how it's going to look is also. So pretty much the story of Korra is in the bag, and all that's left to do is full animation on book 4. Some, I assume, pickup lines for the voice actors, and obviously Mike and Brian will be doing a lot of other stuff. The directors, I assume, will still be involved. But for a lot of the production team on stuff like concept art and storyboarding, their work on Korra is done as of now, and that's what this post was about, saying that um, Korra production is beginning to wind down. I think Brian even said something about this a few months ago, that in a few months, a lot of the crew will be gone. We'll be down to a skeleton crew, and that seems to be happening right now. A lot of the crew are gone. Um, they said there's still a lot of other work to be done, as I mentioned, but this is a good sign for us getting book 3 and 4 a lot quicker than obviously the wait for book 2 was. But it's also sad because, as far as we know, we're only halfway through the book. But for the crew working on the show, they've worked together for a long time, and now it's kind of coming to an end. And even for us, wow, this thing is going to be over in like a year or two, and then we'll be waiting for a new show or something like that. So it's definitely an interesting update to get. But the final thing I want to mention is potentially a big thing, and that is that the event Nickelodeon Upfront, also called Nick Upfront 2014, is happening tomorrow, March 13th. And as I've been saying for the past few weeks, this is an event where traditionally Nickelodeon talk about the new shows and sometimes the new seasons of shows that are already airing, that are going to air in the next TV season, which the upcoming TV season is 2014-2015, which roughly I think runs from basically now until next March, when the next Nickelodeon Upfront happens. And so we're basically expecting some form of Korra announcement from this. We got an announcement for Korra Book 1. We didn't get anything for Book 2, which I think happened in late February, so it was earlier than this, and considering how far behind Book 2 production was, we were kind of expecting a little bit too much from that event, and we didn't really get anything apart from the fact that they said it's coming, but they didn't mention any real date. So, um, given that, as I said, we know there's completed footage out there. The Netherlands Book 3 trailer showed that. We know that well over half of book 3 has been fully animated, and that they're basically more focused on book 4 production right now. It makes complete sense that, with everything that Brian's been saying, books coming soon, Coronation have been saying soon since December, and now that's 4 months on, that's getting to the very end of how long soon can be. We have to be getting a release date and a trailer soon. We have to be getting this kind of usual build up stuff, that concept art, new character stuff, very soon, because if there's one thing book 3 is behind on, it's that sort of stuff. And we knew about all the new book 2 characters way in advance. A few months after book 1 ended, we knew about the Tarlock and stuff like that. This time around, apart from rumors that were happening in or around book 2, in the middle of book 2 production, we have no idea what book 3 is really about. So there's a lot of stuff they still have to tell us, and this event coming up tomorrow, it's not a guarantee that anything correlated is going to happen. But because, as I said, production seems way far ahead, and it seems like the only event where Nickelodeon could announce something, because I seriously doubt, with the production this far ahead, they're going to wait until the next big event, which is San Diego Comic-Con in July, which is where we got the book 2 trailer last time round for book 2. I doubt they're going to wait for then to give us a trailer and a release date. I think they pretty much have to release something, or at the very least start up Coronation again tomorrow or something like that, because a few things could happen tomorrow. Like, obviously, if something happens at Nick Upfront that's good, like we get a release date, a trailer, that's fine, that's great. But if just nothing happens, they kind of do need to do something, because there's one thing Nickelodeon and Coronation do that's bad, is that they don't seem to keep up with the fandom while the show isn't on. So Nickelodeon and Coronation could be telling us right now, it's just straight up, we're not going to be revealing anything at Nick Upfront. You're going to have to wait a few weeks, a few months for that, and that's fine. We know. But the fact that they're just silent, we don't know what's happening, that's the biggest, I think, issue for, I suppose, myself as a fan, and also for, I suppose, other fans as well, just not knowing, and so you get your hopes up, and then if it's disappointing, something's going to have to happen to help that disappointment. And in this case, Coronation is really the only thing kind of outstanding that needs to come back, and that I think we've actively been waiting for a long time, because if you look at the Coronation website right now, it actually says on it, book 3 change coming soon, new phase starting soon, and it has said that since December. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll be covering the event tomorrow for the site, but obviously it's not a public event as far as I know. It's a private event. I think some places are invited to it. You may see some of the bigger entertainment sites there, and that's where we'll get our news from. I think the event is taking place at roughly 4 or 5 p.m. New York time tomorrow, but that's not confirmed. Either way, I think we're pretty much going to have to wait until after the event to get any information from it. But we'll find that out when we come to it tomorrow. Hopefully things go well. If you want a prediction from me, I'd say, I want to say we're going to get everything we want, but I'm not sure. I think, is it a bit too early for a release date? I think we could get a trailer. I just really think that we at the very least should get a trailer. I think they'll keep the release date back until literally a month before the book airs. Though the book could technically air in just over a month, because then we're into April time, and that's when Core Book 1 aired, and we seem to be back on schedule now. It's hard to tell. I want to be super optimistic and go trailer and release date, but I think I'll just go for... I'd expect a trailer, but at the same time, it's gonna be probably will end up being nothing. But yeah, that's enough Nickelodeon Upfront discussion now before it happens. Final thing I wanted to mention is, I think in my last core video I mentioned that I'd be doing a podcast on the Rift Part 1. I've obviously done that now, so if you want to check out the Avatar Online podcast review / discussion for the Rift Part 1, you could do so now. Link will be in the description to that podcast. Uh, Probably one of the best discussions that we've had on the podcast, in my opinion. I think as of that podcast, I have done 125 recordings for the Avatar Online podcast, and that was definitely like top five in terms of like great discussion. You know, no real Skype problems, stuff like that. Just really good discussion, and The Rift Part 1 is an excellent book. So if you've read it and want more discussion, check this thing out. It's like 2 hours, 20 minutes of discussion, and then we cover news for the first 10 or so minutes. So it's a lengthy podcast, but it's really good. Definitely check it out. Again, link in the description. But that's been this Korra news update video. Hopefully I'll be doing one tomorrow with hopefully good news, and not the same thing that happened last year when I recorded a kind of video going, we got nothing. But yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.